when you've needed to go, then all of a sudden you've decided to use a portaloo.
The other day,
but no one chooses to use a portaloo.
The other day I saw a group of women, 4 women that were walking together. They were all, 3 of them were gathered around the front of that having a bit of a conversation while the other girl was in the portaloo using it.
I think it's the handle that you pump to flush, which is a real treat.
It's great.
And when you get to slide that huge kind of plastic lock across it when you go in, you wonder how many hands have been on that lock.
I wonder if people get excited when they just see a portaloo and go, okay, well, that's there for
Thank you very
everyone to
much,
use. I might
everyone.
go
Could
in
we
and
all
use
take
it.
our
If you're going
seats?
for a run in the area, right, and all of a sudden you need to go to the toilet, I'm sure you can make it home.
Good evening.
Like you're not stopping
I agree with you.
at some
I welcome the
construction
gallery and the
site on
press
side
to the
of road
council
to use a
meeting and
portaloo.
remind you
Well,
that the
your
meeting
wife
is being
could probably
recorded
use a
and
portaloo
live streamed to
because hasn't
council's
she
Facebook and
been-
YouTube pages.
Oh, yeah.
Leaving a few things.
I would ask for
one of the
everyone to
kids,
please
at
turn
least they
all
had done a wee
mobile
one
phones
at
to
one stage,
silent
just another
mode,
one, just
and
a
please be
little wee
aware
wee.
that a hearing loop
Little
is available in the
tickle.
council
But
chamber.
yes, one of the kids
Staff
could have used the
members
portaloo the other
are
day.
able to assist you
There
with
are
this at
plenty
any
of
time
toilets
during the
around
meeting.
that
Can be at times.
Please remain
not
quiet in the
limited at
gallery
all.
so that everyone can hear the meeting. Anyone disrupting the meeting may be asked to leave. I would also like to remind members of the public watching the live stream that a copy of the agenda and information explaining council meetings can be found on the council website. Tonight you will see that we have 11 reports in open council and 1 in closed council, a transparency rate of 90%. Reading of the prayer. Please stand as I call upon Dr. David Powys from St John's Anglican Church, Cranbourne, to read the prayer.
Lord, we bring before you this meeting and all who will contribute to its business. May the decisions made this evening serve the greater good of the citizens of the City of Casey. Help those who advise to do so with objectivity and clarity, those who speak to do so with truth and empathy, and those who decide to do so with wisdom and compassion. We pray for good success in advocacy by Casey with state and federal governments in this time of transition, and we hope stability. We ask a particular blessing on citizens facing special difficulties and challenges at this time, and councillors in both their public and private lives. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Powys. Please remain standing as I call upon Ms Robin Zeddens, JP from the Casey Multi-Faith Network, to read the faith statement.
The Casey Multi-Faith Network exists to promote peace, harmony and understanding, and to do so in partnership with Casey Council and the wider Casey community. We aim to spread knowledge and clarity about what different religions or worldviews believe, teach and practice. We believe that all members of all religions and faiths have the right to peacefully practice and celebrate their own religion in a shared attitude of friendly coexistence and cooperation with all other people.
Thank you, Mrs Zeddens. Please be seated. The City of Casey acknowledges that we're on the traditional land of the Bunurong and Wurundjeri people and pays respects to all elders past and present. We have apologies for this evening, so because of that I'd like to move a leave of absence for the following councillors. Councillor Jeff Ablett, Councillor Tim Jackson and Councillor Damien Rosario. Could I have, I'm moving that, could I have a seconder please? Moved by Councillor Smith. And is there any dissent? There being no dissent, I think we can carry that. Thank you. Suspension of local law. I'd like to move a suspension of local law and call upon a seconder until I deem the local law reapplied. So Councillor Gillich, thank you very much. Is there any dissent? There being no dissent, that is carried. Just for the gallery's benefit and for those watching live stream, we've got a couple of really special things to say tonight. One is about 3 wonderful staff members who are leaving Casey. And they are leaving because they have just such talented people and want to pursue their own dreams and ambitions. And that grieves us terribly to lose them, but we're so excited for their future prospects. So what I'd like to say is to acknowledge all 3 employees in separately. And I'd like to start by acknowledging Nicola Ward, Nicola, after nearly 10 years at Casey in various roles, including Manager of Environment, Manager Organisational Strategy, Manager Strategic Planning and Environment, and Manager City Planning, has announced her resignation. Nicola has contributed strongly with her intellect, passion and integrity. We've seen her create an outstanding legacy which will long be remembered. Some of her proudest achievements include securing millions of dollars in grant funding for the benefit of the Casey community, delivering of Council's first sustainability plan, environmental sustainability plan, biodiversity strategy and the emissions management plan. Appropriately, she will be finishing up in World Environment Week. And Nicola, we just want to say that you'll be terribly missed, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you before you finish on the 6th of June and into the future. So I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge Mike Whittaker. He was our customer service manager for 9 years. Mike has been active in developing customer service and also developing customer service who are the face of us here at the City of Casey. He has worked hard over the last 9 years, including transitioning the customer service team from the former Civic Centre at Bunjil Place. So transitioning from our old building over to Vibe, then over to Bunjil Place, and that couldn't have been a mean feat. Now I'm just looking for Mike. He's up the back, hiding up the back. Where's Nicola? Nicola's second row. So Mike, that was an absolutely awesome achievement and one that we're very grateful for. Mike was also instrumental in assisting the customer experience team to obtain 2 awards, one in 2017 being the Customer Service Project of the Year for Complaint Handling Framework Project, and number 2 was in 2008, and that's the Customer Service Project of the Year Service Transformation for Bunjil Place. One place, one team. So thank you, Mike, for your leadership, vision and passion, and good luck in your future endeavours. And we too hope to see you sometime in the future. And finally, this brings me to Wayne Mack. Wayne has been at Casey for over 15 years. I'm not sure where Wayne is. Yep. Was it your first job, Wayne? Yeah. Fantastic. So he's just young. So Wayne's been with Casey for over 15 years with various multiple roles within the organisation. In the past year, Wayne was manager of service and asset planning. He was acting director of the customer and business transformation division a few times, and lastly, manager of information technology. Again, like the others, Wayne, your passion, investment and leadership in the organisation has been highly praised, and your presence will be missed. You have been a big part of this organisation and have dealt with many of the councillors present here tonight and over the past years, and we thank you for your service. Thank you all for being here tonight. Your achievements, improvements, change efforts and individual personalities are something we will all remember and we will miss. On behalf of myself, the councillors and the CEO and the wider Casey staff, we wish you all the best for what will surely be a very bright future ahead for you all. God bless you, and thank you once again for your service to the City of Casey. I would just like to open it up to our fellow councillors who would like to say a couple of words in support of these 3 wonderful people. Councillor Aziz.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and I honestly don't know where to begin because each one of those amazing and highly professional officers that are leaving us have got a very strong stamp on both our hearts and our minds as councillors, but also an amazing stamp on the City of Casey. And I could stand here and talk for hours about their list of individual achievements and what they've been able to deliver the great residents of this wonderful city. But I think many of those things are so well known throughout Casey and certainly so well known throughout the organisation. Your professionalism, your knowledge, your concern and care for the City of Casey and its future, and the energy with which you have executed your roles is more than apparent everywhere we look. Mike Whittaker, who I can't see at the moment, and that's probably because of my poor eyesight. But there you are, Mike. An amazing entry point for councillors into the organisation in terms of any customer concern request that comes in, and often you'd write to him and he would respond in just an hour or two, and the request would be catalogued and acted upon. And what he did more than that was to make sure that we were all informed once it was acquitted and resolved. So Mike, I can't thank you enough. I've said it before privately, and I'll say it again now publicly. This organisation is looking to invest in robotic technology and artificial intelligence to ensure that it modernises its customer service front as well as its internal processes. And that involves having a robot that is very much in the form of a human being that can answer queries by our customers and our residents pretty much within the first hour of them being made. And her name is Amelia, and we looked at that when we went to New York recently. But Mike, you've been my Amelia all along. And I mean no disrespect by that. I mean that you are just that critical central point of contact that has been able to resolve hundreds and hundreds of customer queries with great efficiency and great professionalism. Nicola, in your role as a strategic thinker for the organisation and your leadership of the strategic planning department, you have delivered many amazing plans and visions for our city, and I became to appreciate the value of what you do when I embarked on a master's course in planning earlier this year, and understood for the first time in my entire local government career the complexities that you had to negotiate every day in order to deliver the sort of vision that this organisation now enjoys, and is indeed a roadmap for its future. So thank you so much. Your impression on the city of Casey will live for generations to come. And finally, Wayne, someone that grew up in the city of Casey, was educated in the city of Casey, went on and got an engineering degree, and then came back to work for our local government here. Your stamp on the budget process and the way that we now do capital works, and the science you bring to the whole exercise, as well as your willingness and readiness to assist and make very technical matters seem very simple for us, mere mortal councillors, compared to your engineering prowess. So it's by no means an insignificant skill. So I sincerely hope that the three of you, as you embark on your new path in life, get rewarded commensurately with your amazing talents and skills. And I can say that from me, and on behalf of the residents of Springfield Ward, you will be so badly missed, and I only have the best wishes for you. It's been such a pleasure and honour to work with such a group of amazing professionals. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Councillor Cristani.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to rise to acknowledge three great officers, and thank you very much for your contribution for so many years. The experience between you all is so collective, and it will be missed. Thank you for your courteous, kind manner. I don't think I've ever heard a negative word from each of you. I can honestly say that. And so I thank you that you have undertaken your role in such high calibre and with such integrity and such skill. You've taught me a lot individually as a councillor, but also how to interact and how to get the job done. So thank you so much for being part of Casey Council, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavours. And you will have the path open before you wherever you go. So I wish you all the best to you and your families, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cristani. Councillor Rowe.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And it's a great pleasure to rise and pay our respects, and my respects especially, to Wayne, Nicola and Mike. Wayne, you were a champion during budget time. I would we as councillors were requesting more money, you actually found it for us, which was exceptional. I could do with a couple of hundred right now. But Wayne, you know, you've always been just a pleasure to be around, a good bloke that has a laugh, and adds a lot to the ethos and the background of our community, because you are a boy of our community. I can say the word boy because the age difference is significant. But you know, born and raised in Hampton Park Secondary College, and I think he survived Councillor Smith, I think, as a teacher, and that's, you know, a feat in itself. So thank you very much, mate. I really appreciated everything you did for us. Nicola, what can I say about you? We don't want you to go. You were, in planning is such a difficult thing, and we often have different ideas to some of the officers. We have competing influences upon us, but you were always a voice of reason. I remember one day we sat out there at the table when everybody else had gone, and we worked through a way of getting what we needed for the city of Casey from a couple of developers, and everybody came out of that really happy. The thing that amazed me, that prior to you getting directly involved, there'd been nothing but conflict. But you got involved as a voice of reason and calming, probably because you're a mum, and your professional expertise just blow me out of the water. You know, whoever gets you next is going to be very, very lucky, and thank you very much for what you did for me as a councillor over the last 7 years, and everybody else. Mike Whittaker, we were looking at artificial intelligence. Somebody told me that was because we didn't have any natural intelligence. I find that difficult to believe. But like what you did in transformation, they're now looking to do electronically. And you know, we've made some giant steps in the implementation of technology into the city of Casey. And you were no small part of that in bringing the team along, by the team understanding where we were coming from as councillors, and you know, and us delivering this project was all because of people like you and the smoothness. You know, the day we opened, everybody was making things work, and that had an awful lot to do with you. Thank you for your years of service. Really appreciated it, and well, looks like, Sam, we're going to have to get Amelia. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rowe. Councillor Flannery.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As one of the junior councillors here, only been in the job for 3 years, the three of you have given me a lot of wisdom and a lot of thought into what I'm doing as a councillor. Every time I've needed to make contact with the officers and yourselves, you've always been obliging, and to that I respect you a lot, and I wish you all the best for your future. And look, I tell you what, Casey Council is going to miss you, but I'm pretty well sure that wherever you go, they'll look forward to having you. So thank you very much for your time and effort you put into me. Thank you.
Councillor
Madam
Saray.
Mayor, I just want to say, if Councillor Flannery is a junior councillor, I may not have been born yet, so I just realised that.
Councillor Saray.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think everything's been said, but I just wanted to personally say thank you for all your hard work. I guess in Councillor Rex Flannery's words, I'm a senior as a councillor. But, you know, every time we've had to deal with capital works or environment or the customer service, everyone's so honest and upfront about how we can actually move forward, and that's our biggest asset. And in the words of Mick Moreland, he used to always say that our staff was our biggest asset, and that's definitely, and he would have been very proud. So, thanks.
Councillor Smith.
God, if Rex is the baby, what am I? Look, I won't single out anyone, because I think any staff that leaves the city of Casey after X number of years, and I think 6 years to 15 is a fantastic achievement. I said I wouldn't single out, but I've got to single out Wayne Mack. He came into IT I'd had an issue with my home Wi-Fi and IT for 10 years plus. I put it to Wayne and it was fixed within a week, and it was just, it was the can-do attitude that, everyone else said, no, it can't be done. So I thank you. But to everyone, to our other staff, good luck in whatever you do. We will miss you because, your service to the City of Casey has been exemplary, and I wish you luck. Don't know what's going to happen with the Dubden pool now, but anyway, hopefully something good will come despite you leaving us. But good luck in all your endeavours.
So you three wonderful people, we wish you well. Thank you for being here tonight. And as Councillor Christani said, God bless you, and here's to success. And thank you for all that you've done for us. I would now like to acknowledge someone that isn't in council but has had a great influence in the work that we've done on council, and that is the Reverend David Powers. You might have heard him speak before. He delivered the Christian prayer. David left us St John's Anglican Church 2 weeks ago, and he's gone on to another church. From memory, David was originally from Mount Eliza, where he grew an extraordinary church, came to St John's at the same time that I joined council, that was a church in decline at the time, in fact had very few parishioners left, and he took over the 150-year-old church chapel, and not only did he grow that church, he actually developed it. It's expanded it so it could grow. So that it was a huge fundraising effort that the community got on board with and brought a lot of the old parishioners back into the church. So David was my vicar, and I hate saying that because very loved vicar. We attended his farewell 2 weeks ago, where the whole church was totally packed. And there were so many people crying, lots of tears, but we're so happy for David and for his beautiful wife, Penny. So I've actually written a letter of high commendation for David, and I just would like to read it out if that's okay. It just gives you sums up what David has done, because he's just one of those extraordinary individuals. And I was down at the Anglican Church in Rosebud just last week, where I ran into a former parishioner of his from the Mornington Peninsula who said, David is the most extraordinary man. He is notable for so many reasons, and we were so sorry to see him leave our church. And I mean, to be sitting next to someone just random to say that just confirms that wonderful example of just how wonderful he is. So the letter of commendations, it says, this letter is to highly commend the service of the Reverend David and Penny Powers for their service to St John's Anglican Church and the wider Cranbourne community. Their service included growing a church from a small parishioner base to a large multicultural congregation, overseeing and driving fundraising to build a stunning addition to the church building, allowing it to grow and develop, supporting and developing Christchurch Tooradin and their 150-year-old annual bazaar, which is absolutely amazing. And whenever you'd go to that bazaar, there was David working tirelessly on one of the stalls. Developing community programs within the church and inviting the community to be a part, including St John's Quilters, car wash, multicultural dinners, which were fantastic, church camps, carols by candlelight, quilt-ins, quiltathons, Fathers in the Chapel, which was absolutely, still is, an extraordinary talent evening, the large annual fete, chorale afternoons and evenings, and that's just to name a few. That church, something's going on there all the time, and it's all very, very exciting. The other things include developing a church congregation with our South Sudanese community, our Dinkas, pastoral care and expert sermons, caring for the parishioners' emotional and spiritual welfare, embracing and teaching our children and youth, enhancing the work and talent within Cranbourne, entrenching St John's as a community church, working tirelessly to fulfil the duties of two roles, vicar and administration officer, working, and sometimes gardener. I heard that he actually mowed the lawns at St John's, which is extraordinary, working tirelessly to ensure both churches remained in an impeccable state, supporting council to the Commit to Casey campaign, resulting in significant outcomes in the 2018 state election for the Casey community. Their character includes being good people of God and of good character, setting an exemplary example of what it is to be a Christian, two people who will be forever missed by the parish of St John's Cranbourne and the wider community. and I, along with the City of Casey, are grateful for their outstanding service and wish them God's blessing now and the future. So what I would ask if, I just would like to probably go around if we could just say a couple of words to David and then about David for those that would like to, and then invite David up so I can present him with a certificate and we have a joint photo, if that's okay. So Councillor Aziz, he's also your vicar.
Madam Mayor, and another departure from the City of Casey, not from the administration, but from the city, and a wonderful, wonderful human being and pastor and servant of Christ. I first had the pleasure of meeting David as far back as 2012, namely on the 17th of March 2012. I'll never forget that day when I was invited to Cranbourne to join the Anglican Primate of Australia, Archbishop Dr. Philip Freer, and Dr. Pastor David Powies, to lay the foundation stone for the new church in Cranbourne. And I was deeply honoured that day to be able to perform that task with you, particularly as a migrant who came to Australia many, many, many decades when the original church was built, and to have that opportunity and that blessing was just amazing. And our relationship has developed since then quite immensely, and thanks to your introduction as well, Madam Mayor. And it's no secret that I have been previously married, and that when I met my new wife, there was a number of, if we can call them, theological issues about where my new marriage would take place. And David took us completely under his wing, introduced us to his wonderful, wonderful style of pastoralship, and also to the doctrines and worship of the Anglican Church. And we're very proud today to have become Anglicans and also to have been married by him back in December last year. And David is a very gentle person, but can also be a very assertive person, and we know that he gets so much done. I do recall that when we were rehearsing for our wedding, and you're nervous because it's a new church and it's a new experience, and you sort of start to say things that should happen during the ceremony and so on. And I remember David saying to me, look, Sam Aziz, you might have been the mayor one day, but I'm in charge here. And he said that in total love and total care, and it was just the most amazing ceremony, and we are so honoured not only to have met him, but also to have worked with him, and we certainly look forward to joining him in his new ministry at some stage, and I'm sure it'll be a most successful and most blessed ministry, a great gain for the people of Bentley, and a great loss for the people of the City of Casey, David. So thank you so much for everything that you've done. Thank you especially for what you've done for me personally. It will remain in my heart till the day that I die, and I really wish you and Penny every success in all that you do. And as I said, the City of Casey will be poorer now that you're going to be moving on, but we will certainly remember you, and we'll continue to visit you, and we look forward to seeing you again, and we wish you every success and every health and every prosperity in all that you do. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Aziz. Could I just invite the Reverend David Powys up so I can present him with a certificate, and could I invite my fellow councillors to join me and David so that we can have a group photo? I now determine the local law reapplied. Confirmation of minutes. Is there a mover and a seconder to confirm the